Are you thinking of renting in Portugal? Maybe do you have questions about pets, walkability, or furnished apartments? Or maybe you're curious about some of the idiosyncrasies of Portuguese rentals versus what you may expect coming from America? Well, you're in the right place. So stay tuned while we get answers for the most common questions I get about renting in Portugal. There's a lot to know about renting in Portugal. In my previous video, we explored the lease in detail. In this video, we're going to cover some of the most frequently asked questions that I get, including things like furnished versus unfurnished. What about pets? What about walkability and proximity to grocery stores? And we'll even touch on a few gotchas that can catch you by surprise if you're not careful. Like, what happened to all the light fixtures and the appliances? So before we dive in, today I'm on the west side of Alfama, about a block or two in between Castelo São Jorge and the Miradouro de Graça, each offering some of the most iconic views in Lisbon. So let's talk about furnished versus unfurnished units. So I guess about 10 to 20% of the available inventory at any given time is available as a long-term furnished rental. Now the quality varies dramatically from well-designed quality furnishings and decor to grandma's leftovers that the owners didn't want to move. There are a couple of firms that specialize in really well-marketed, stylishly designed furnished rentals, usually in great locations. Just be careful because these operate in more of a hybrid model. They're not quite short-term, but they're also not really ideal for long-term rentals, as they may require prepayment for the full lease term up front. It's a great solution for longer vacations or even extended work trips, but maybe not so great for stays that VFS and IMA would consider appropriate for your visa process. The dead giveaway is when you see a listing that directs you to a calendar to select your desired dates. It's probably not a traditional long-term rental offering. We get a lot of questions about pets. Now, my husband and I, we have 2 dogs, so we understand just how important pets are to humans. I would estimate, given my experience, about 60% of landlords, they allow pets, so we should be able to find a place that works for both you and your furry friends. I also tell my clients not to really stress about the properties that don't qualify. The pets are non-negotiable, so we'll just move on and find the right property that does. I also get a lot of questions about walkability. I want to find a property that's got great walkability. Well, Portugal, and especially Lisbon, is food abundant. There's no shortage of grocery stores, mercados, cafes, cafeterias, restaurants in just about every neighborhood. You know, some have bigger stores and more restaurants than others, of course, but it's rare to find a property in the city that doesn't have food within a few blocks. And the same goes for parks and outdoor spaces. Portuguese love to be outside, and they take advantage of the hundreds of neighborhood parks, many of which have some sort of water feature, like a pond or a fountain. Many have high-quality children's playgrounds. A whole bunch have my favorite part of Portuguese culture, kiosks. The kiosk is a fabulous concept. Food and drinks available to purchase right in the park. You can have a glass of wine while watching the kids play, while listening to the soothing sounds of ducks in the pond. It's a fantastic way to unwind and create community because you'll meet a ton of your neighbors hanging out in the park or having a snack right there in the kiosk. So a couple little things before we wrap up. Light fixtures are not guaranteed to be part of your lease, so always double check that the light fixtures are or are not included. In the US, if it's affixed to the property, it's included by default, but that rule does not apply in Portugal. So it's not uncommon for the previous tenant to take their light fixtures with them, or for the landlord to only provide a light bulb on a wire hanging from the ceiling. IKEA has a ton of light fixtures, so it's not that big of a deal, but it can be a little strange for Americans the first time they see it. Now, kitchen appliances are also not guaranteed to be included. So if you see a listing that says fully equipped kitchen, that means it has all the appliances, a cooktop or a hob as they call it here, a stove, fridge, probably a dishwasher and a washing machine. If they don't mention fully equipped, check the photos and ask the agent. If there's a gap under the counter, that's probably not a great place to work from home. It's probably where the dishwasher or the washing machine goes. So last but not least, heat. Heat is not guaranteed to be included either. So many apartments, especially older ones, don't have heat installed, so you'll need to purchase electrical units. They're not expensive and they operate quite efficiently from what you may be used to in the US. It may seem a little weird at first to look at properties that don't have heat, but it's quite common here. To get more tips like these and exclusive access to get all your questions answered, sign up at our website, portugalstepbystep.com, or just like and subscribe to keep the content coming. See you next time.